Hello, I'm back again. Just gonna jump right into it today. So I pull a preliminary card before I get into what I'm gonna read on camera. I got the Nine of Wands today. So feeling guarded, or even like I have something to say to somebody. There is a resolution, there's a conflict that needs a resolution, right? And maybe because of how things have gone previously, even unrelated to whatever this is relating to, there's something that feels like it's impacting your ability to do this thing that is needed to be done to move out of this energy. Okay. The first thing that came to mind is like, who do you need to apologize to? Or maybe somebody needs to apologize to you. But there is a sense of like wanting to find a resolution to some sort of conflict that has been, I mean, varying person to person, but it feels like it's kind of been going on for a minute. And it feels like a decision has been made to reach that conclusion or to like reach that resolution. But now there's a guardedness because can I even like apologize? Can I even like, is this even going to be received? There's kind of this hesitation I'm seeing. And it's kind of creating like a friction within yourself or this other person. Again, take it how it resonates, okay? But it feels like there's just this like needing of a, like, even if there's not a like reconciliation, let's say, if it's something that like you need to really apologize for, or what, if there's something that needs to be resolved, it's like there just needs to be a piece that is said, but it's not to be combative. It's just to be like, I want to just drop this. I don't care what happens from here, like whether we correct, rebuild, rescue, whatever, or if we just leave it, like, but I just need to say my piece, and I need there to be like, it's a very neutral energy is what I'm picking up on. This is not somebody who wants to shake their finger and, you know, this is not an energy of like, I want to tell you off. This is an energy of like, let's just bury the hatchet and maybe then we can start from fresh, or maybe we don't want to. And that's like kind of the vibe I get here. And I feel like this energy has been kind of carried around for a minute. It's just, it's kind of anticipating the worst, which is not really fair to you or this other person or the situation as a whole. Because with the Nine of Wands, it can show a psychic wounding of something that happened previously. So like, let's say, just for an example, you have always had a hard time making friends, and you've always found yourself to kind of be in friend groups that maybe you're like the butt of the joke or whatever, right? Like maybe there is just this like relational dynamic that's a struggle. But then you meet a new group of people and they're super outgoing and they really want to hang out with you, and they're trying to involve you, and but like, because you're in this psychic wounding of like what has happened in the past, you can't see that other group as like an improvement. You can't see it for what it is because you're seeing it as something that it's like a past wounding that's projecting itself onto a new situation, and then you can't see it for what it is, so then you kind of sabotage it in a way, or you are guarded and you hold yourself back and you're like, I don't know if I can trust this, but you can, but it's like, I don't know. I also see this card pop up when people are like trying to date, but maybe they have like a difficult relationship, and or just some sort of like maybe no relationship, maybe they've had actually like a complete lack of a dating life, but because they've always perceived themselves as like undesirable in some way, then when somebody really desires them, there's this feeling of like, but I'm not desirable, so like why would they want me? And it's just, this is like a moment to just check in with yourself, right? It's a moment to check in and go, okay, well, there is this conflict that needs resolving. Am I looking at this in a fair and just way? Am I seeing this the way it actually is? There's a pause, right? There's a need to pause before moving forward. All right, let's pull a couple other cards now that I've chatted. And I do feel like whatever this is, it's on the precipice of something that is very transformative. So it kind of feels like putting something off, putting something off, putting something off, but then bam, once you actually do the thing, you have the death card. And this is one of my favorite cards because it really shows a necessary change. It shows that something is done, but there's now space for something new to come in, or for it to be addressed in a different way. This comes as kind of like a balm almost, especially if you've been in this energy for a while, because I'm going to be real with you. This energy, the Nine of Wands, I think this is one of the easiest energies to get stuck in, because once you're already here, you're there. And it's kind of like, not like if you have spent any time online, or if you've ever posted anything, or like received any sort of feedback, like whatever, right? There's kind of this Pandora's box that I see of like starting to think about how people can perceive you, right? And it's almost like once you open up that box of like, oh, I've like created my own conflict, basically. This is like boxing ghosts, because you're thinking of all the worst things that anyone could ever think about you. But like, it's completely based in an illusion of sorts. Like, sure, people could be thinking that about you, right? Like, that could be something that is happening, but it's also like, that's not for you to carry, you know? It's like someone somewhere will always dislike you, or have something to say that like they don't like, and that's okay. But if you're sitting in this energy of thinking about all the ways that things could go wrong, or all the ways that things like it's alluring almost. Like, isn't it? Like, have you ever sat in a feeling that is like kind of truly miserable? There's an allure to it. There's like, when you like if you have a friend who maybe is like very pessimistic, like when you're with them, you might find yourself being more pessimistic because there is an allure to it. But it's important not to get stuck here. It's important to like genuinely reflect on it and make the change and move away from it. Because yeah, like once you allow yourself to stay here, it can be hard to move out of it. But I see that if you have been here, there is movement, right? There's a decision where you're just like, that's it. I'm done with this. Whatever this is, I'm done with it. I don't want to keep doing that. So that's how I'm seeing that. Okay. Now I'll pull cards. Let's see. I don't know if I said this, but I'm going to try to keep this short because I am sitting on the floor and it is uncomfortable. But it's also a little bit nicer of a backdrop than my unfinished office. So we're here. This is actually my favorite part of the house, so it's really nice. Alrighty. Yeah, see. Yeah, there's movement here. There's movement away from that. There's a lot of wands. Ooh-wee, my God, hello. 2 pentacles. One more. I almost pick up that, like, even listening to this, you're like, ugh. There's a feeling of, like, not wanting to move out of it, but you will. I see the 10 of Wands, I see the Ace of Wands, I see the 8 of Wands. So if I'm just, like, looking at the big picture of this, it's needing to take this step. Like, if I'm looking at this as you're starting, right? I see you removing these and putting them down, okay? This can be this is a burden. This is a burden. This is the exhaustion of the burden, okay? It's very much feeling like I cannot deny that these have been part of my life and part of my past, but I am going to move them away from where I am. Hopefully my audio didn't mess up because I got a phone call. But yeah, there is this sense of like, okay, it's time to move past this, right? I see you like bundling them up and putting them like off to the side and being like, you've served me well, thank you, I don't need you anymore. And then I got the sense of like an apology of some sort, or even just like a peace, like a peace token. This could be that like motivation to do that. I feel like almost with the Ace of Wands, like if you've been teetering on doing something, reaching out to somebody or whatever, I get the sense that you'll see something or you'll receive some sort of, I don't know, like some sort of hint, right? Or something that's like, maybe even it's just divine inspiration, like when you gain the courage to just go do the thing. But this could be something that you see where you're like, yeah, you know what? I think if I reach out, this might go okay. It's a small token. You know, I can see you kind of giving what you can, you know, and you're kind of you're trying to figure out how to balance it or whatever it might be. But here I see this sense of like, let me go forth, let me wear my heart on my sleeve, even if I kind of come across a little bit as a fool, because the Page of Cups to me always kind of gives fool energy. I don't really know why. But there's this sense of like, let me show up and apologize, even if it's a small little thing, even if they don't respond, like I am going to just go ahead and do this thing. So I see a lot of movement wherever you have been feeling stuck. There is like that need for that like spark of intervention or inspiration. And then again, I see with the Two of Pentacles, like, oh, that's interesting. So I don't know, like this might apply generally, but it might also be for someone specific, I guess. But like, let's say, when before this happened, right? Like when we're in this energy, let's say that maybe there was a situation or a project or a relationship or like whatever, right? That you wanted to give more to, but you really couldn't because you were deeply burdened, whether this was with the like previous experiences and not being able to see something for what it is, or maybe it is like just truly so busy, truly just carrying so much on so many different plates and just trying to keep things going like in a way that works. And maybe it wasn't able to, like something wasn't able to play out. Maybe there was something that you couldn't show up for, or there was something that you wanted to be there, but you couldn't. Like it's something that you wanted. And I don't know necessarily what that is, but it's like, there's just something that you wanted that for whatever reason, it just couldn't work out at the time. And, you know, I see there being kind of a bit of shame, actually, like looking at this, it's kind of like having to put an end to something, but it was like an ending that didn't really want to happen, or it's like you let someone down or someone let you down, or there's just this feeling of like, I wanted to be there, I wanted to be engaged, and I couldn't, and then I lost it. And then I see this like, okay, well, I need to apologize, I need to reach out, or I just need to show a token of my appreciation for like that person at the time being who they were when I couldn't show up, or whatever the case might be, right? It's like, it's like desire to reconcile. It's a desire to make right. And I feel like this energy is you realizing like, I do still have a lot going on, and I do think that I still need to be careful how I balance my energy and what I'm doing and my time and whatever. But it's like a much more balanced energy than what it was. So it's almost like, okay, I'm still kind of too busy to show up, but I'm going to show up, even if I have to, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? delegate. Like maybe I do have to delegate to other people or like postpone things, but I will show up, right? There's this desire like to show up. I also feel like this is all, I mean, first of all, the amount of wands here, wands are spiritual energy, sure. They're fire energy. To me, it feels like something is like, it's been building this pressure, and then it just ignites. And then whatever is needed to come forward, it does come forward. Okay. I'm gonna just pull, let's see, I'm gonna pull like 2 more cards and then we'll end it, because I think that's kind of the stopping place, but let's see. But in general, it's like, if you want to reach out to someone, you should do it. Or maybe you're like kind of not like expecting somebody to apologize to you, but it's like, maybe you know that maybe you've had a suspicion that this energy is like kind of coming towards you. And it's just, it's an indicator that you're on the right path. And, you know, if someone needs to say something to you, they're gonna say it. And it's kind of funny because like when I read the Watcher's energy, it's kind of split into 2 camps. It's like, I need to apologize and I know I need to do this, and I know I need to show up and be there, and okay, like there's that part of it. But then there's also this part of it that's like, I'm trying really hard not to look at that. Like, I know it's coming. I know it's coming, and I'm trying to pretend that I don't know it's coming so it comes faster. Like, that's kind of the vibe it gives. It's really, it's fun, and I can resonate it on a personal level. So it's like, I see where it's coming from, but there's the sense of like, I don't know anything's coming. I don't know if anything's coming. Like, that's the feeling. It's cute. It's fun. I don't know. But it's also like real, because I think with that 9 of Wands, like sometimes this energy comes up. Hold on, let me pull the card out again. Like, sometimes this energy comes up when we're like, I don't think I can experience another bad situation. I don't think I can go through another friend who is just using me or mistreats me. I don't think I can go through another bad date where the person talks for 800 hours and doesn't ask me a single thing and then tells me I was really boring. Like, there's that sort of vibe where it's like, I am tired. And as much as I would love to think that an apology is coming, or as much as I would like to maybe bury the hatchet, or as much as I would love to, you know, reconcile with somebody who has left me in a kind of wary state, or whatever it might be, like, there is a feeling of like, I don't want to hope for that. And I feel it, because I think that if you've been in this place, it is very hard to imagine yourself in this place. Like, these are very different energies. And this is where, you know, maybe some of you have been for a while, and it's like feeling downtrodden. It's like, what's the point? What's the point of going out there again if I'm just met with disappointment every single time? And what's the point of expecting anyone to care enough to apologize, or expecting anyone enough to care enough about me to accept my apology, whichever way that goes? Like, this to me is, I don't want to hope for that, because I can't stand to think about what will happen if it never comes. Even though in some way it is coming, right? And maybe it's coming within yourself. Like, maybe this is something that is like you're letting go of personally. You know, you're making this decision to move out of this energy, and pouring love into yourself. And, you know, if that is the case, like, there's something about filling up your cup again so that you feel safe enough to hope for anything. But I think that's why this energy can be so alluring, because sometimes, like, we do go through hardship. We do go through experiences that don't get better. We do go through things that leave us feeling weary and tired. And like, it's easier to stand here than to pick all these wands up, move them to the side, and create space for something new, right? Like that, it's hard. This takes effort. This does take effort. 10 wands, pretty heavy, I would assume, okay? So it's like, yeah, I can see that hesitation. I can see that desire of like, how do I even make that happen? But you can make it happen. And I think it's just wherever you are feeling that way, like just pouring love into it when you can, because things will change. And I feel like things change pretty quickly here. And I also will say, like, if there is a situation where you know you're not going to get an apology, and you know you have been very like afraid to move on from it, you're guarded, but you don't want to stay where you are. I think it's worth acknowledging that whatever the situation was, it has helped you change. And even though you feel kind of stuck in that Nine of Wands energy, the potential and ability to move out of it is equally as great as whatever it is that you're feeling stuck in, if that makes sense. Okay, 2 more cards. That makes my chest hurt, like thinking about that. Like I can feel how heartbreaking it is to feel like there's no point in hoping for different, or there's no, like, the defeat, the feeling of the defeat, but the defeat is not even in alignment with who you are or like what it is that you want out of life. It's just feeling so down on your luck and just feeling so like unlovable. But you are so lovable. You're so lovable. And I'm so sorry you feel that way. I know I don't need to apologize. It's just, like, that's rough. And again, that's where it might be really hard, but like showing up for yourself in really small ways and pouring that love back into yourself is going to really like help you if that is how you're feeling. It's hard. It's hard though. And the Page is a timid and lighthearted, but like it's a timid energy, and it's something that needs to be kind of like it's funny because like the Page of Cups is water, but I'm being shown like when you're starting a fire, and like you have to really like, you know, to get it going, you have to tend to it. And that's, I can see that being an apt metaphor for whatever this is here. Anything else? Let's see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want to cry. Yeah, you're moving out of that energy. Hello? You've got the Nine of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. This is such a different energy from this. Hello? You are truly expecting the worst. You're expecting the worst with this energy. But like really, there is so much around you that is going to be unfolding. And I feel like whatever it is that this like sort of messenger, you know, it's small. This is a small offering, okay? The Ace is a beginning. It is a spark. It is just a spark. It's not the whole thing. The Page, again, immature energy. It's more timid. It's a little bit quieter, you know? Whereas the Knight of Cups like rides in and is like, sup, B words, I'm here and I wanna like take you on a date or whatever it is. Like that kind of non-serious but like more outspoken energy. This is kind of like, hey, like, do you have a minute that we can talk? Like, can we talk for a minute? I really like, I need to tell you something and I'm kind of scared. And they're gonna beat around the bush, but then they get to it. That's like, that's the vibe I get with the Page of Cups. That being said, there is so much to gain here. There is light at the end of the tunnel. I know for some of you that doesn't necessarily like make you feel better now, but I think, like I said, just pouring into yourself in little ways, like you will get here. But also if this is like an apology that you need to make, or somebody makes an apology to you, or there's like a conflict that needs a resolution, whatever the resolution is, that's a good ass resolution. Hello? like you have emotional fulfillment, you have like physical fulfillment. There's And it's interesting because it's nines, because it's like, this isn't even the end. But like things do start turning around. You know, if you've been down on your luck, the fortune changes, right? Like, but I think part of it is you being a little brave too in order to get here. So that is like, if somebody is trying to apologize, you hearing them out and being curious rather than just immediately shrugging it off as like, I'm not dealing with this. If you have to, you know, find some sort of resolution to a problem that has been very pervasive, it's looking at alternatives, right? It's looking at different ways of approaching it. There's something different there for you to try, but it leads to a great amount of success. Like, this is really beautiful. And I also think like the Knight of Pentacles to me is kind of also tending to your garden. Like, this is somebody who has made sacrifices. The Knight of Pentacles, I think people like to see her as, oh, she's just, you know, in her yard, she's got everything handed to her. No, that's not this energy. This energy is somebody who has worked to get where they are. But it's also somebody who knows how to appreciate the sacrifices and hard work that it's taken to get to where they are. It also feels kind of like reclaiming a little bit of independence and recognizing that, like, in this, it feels hopeless. Okay. It feels hopeless. And also that's 999, end of a cycle. Okay. But like, you do see this sort of energy where it's like, I've created my own hope, or like I'm choosing to look at what's around me that uplifts me rather than keeps me feeling very trapped and stuck. It's not only am I going to offer up an apology or, you know, whatever, it's like I'm going to then also like feed into the dynamic. There's something I'm going to show up for. There's something I'm going to, like, it might take time and effort, but I'm going to show up for it. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to make those sacrifices. And as a result, it is very beautifully like delivered in a way that's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. It's that feeling of like, wherever you are now, a year from now, you won't even like recognize where you're at because this is where you've been for so long. And then it's kind of funny because I was talking to a friend of mine recently. Hopefully she doesn't mind that I mentioned this. She might see this. Hi. But we were talking about how like there's no way she wouldn't care anyway, because it's kind of a nothing burger. But we were talking about how like she was unemployed for a long time because she was a stay-at-home parent. And then she got a job, and pretty much it was like so weird because her life was so like, it was in a deep track that had been that way for years, and her life looked the same for years. Her routine looked the same for years. And she was like trying to get a job for a while and nothing was really fitting her needs. And then she found like the perfect job with the perfect schedule that really like matched what she needed for a job. And she started working, and it was kind of like overnight, that really deep groove of a life that she was in, that like she could have done that for the rest of her life, eyes closed. Like, she would have known where she was going and what was going to happen. But then like overnight it just changed, and she was suddenly on a completely new track. And it was like, it's funny because I feel like change doesn't happen, and then it does. And suddenly we're like, how did we get here? Like, I was super comfortable here, but now I'm here, and I'm even more comfortable here because it's actually enjoyable. So that's something to keep in mind too, where it's like, if it feels like things are like can't change, I have found, and I know my friends have found, that it will feel that way, but that doesn't mean it's the truth. And typically, if there's something that you really want to change, when it does happen, it is very much a like sudden experience. And then suddenly you're somewhere new. Suddenly you have a new daily routine. Suddenly you have a new job. Suddenly you have a new friend. Suddenly you are having conversations that you never thought you would have. So it's like, it's that sort of reminder that like nothing changes until it changes. And then once it changes, it's different, if that makes sense, right? Like, it seems really basic saying it, but that is how I see it. And yeah, I hope that this reading had something for you. It was way longer than what I thought it might be, but I appreciate if you watched it. I hope you get something from it, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.